Breaking. Congress is demanding answers after 300 million Americans' Social Security data may have been compromised. But that's not the only shocking news hitting Social Security recipients right now. In this video, you'll discover the latest developments that could directly impact your Social Security benefits, from a potential $1,400 emergency payment that advocacy groups are pushing for, to why your 2026 cost of living increase might leave you worse off than before. And I'll reveal the real reason why your Social Security buying power has dropped by 20% since 2010 and what you can do about it. Welcome back to Financial Area, where we break down the financial news that matters most to your wallet. If this information helps you stay ahead of changes to your benefits, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more money-saving insights. Let's start with something that should have every American outraged. Representative John Larson recently took to the House floor with an urgent warning that sent shockwaves through Congress. According to Larson, the personal information of over 300 million Americans, your Social Security data, may have been accessed and transferred without proper oversight. Here's what happened. A group referred to as DOGE allegedly gained access to sensitive Social Security Administration data and moved it to a cloud environment. The most alarming part, this transfer occurred without any vetting or approval from Congress or the Senate. We're talking about your most sensitive personal information, Social Security numbers, benefit amounts, personal addresses, potentially in the hands of an unvetted third party. Larson didn't mince words when he addressed this breach. He called it an outrage that the president would allow any group to have access to every American's personal data without proper oversight. Think about what this means for you personally. Your Social Security information contains everything an identity thief needs to wreak havoc on your financial life. The implications go far beyond just technical concerns. When your personal information is compromised, you face real risks of identity theft, fraudulent benefit claims, and a complete loss of trust in the very institutions meant to protect your financial security. This isn't just about data. It's about your peace of mind and financial safety. Representative Larson is demanding that this DOGE group testify before the House Ways and Means Committee. He wants answers to critical questions. Why did they access this data? What do they intend to do with it? And why was it moved from what was presumably a secure government location? These are questions that every American deserves to have answered. What makes this even more concerning is the bipartisan nature of the outrage. Larson emphasized that protecting Social Security data isn't a partisan issue. It's about fundamental accountability and transparency. Both Democrats and Republicans should be demanding answers and ensuring that robust oversight protects Americans' most sensitive information. Now, while Congress deals with data security, there's another development that could put money directly in your pocket if it ever becomes reality. Senior advocacy organizations are pushing hard for a one-time $1,400 payment to Social Security recipients, and the reasons behind this proposal will shock you. The Senior Citizens League, one of the most vocal advocacy groups for seniors, recently released a bombshell report. They found that the purchasing power of Social Security benefits has declined by a staggering 20% since 2010. Let that sink in. If you're receiving Social Security today, your benefits buy 20% less than they did just over a decade ago. To put this in perspective, the Senior Citizens League calculated that to fully compensate for this loss in purchasing power, each recipient would need an annual increase of $4,400. Yes, you heard that right. $4,400 per year just to get back to where you were in 2010. But recognizing the political reality of such a massive increase, advocates are instead pushing for a $1,400 catch-up payment as a stopgap measure. Why $1,400? This figure represents a partial offset to the cumulative impact of inadequate cost of living adjustments over the years. While the cost of essentials like food, housing, and healthcare have skyrocketed, Social Security benefits have failed to keep pace, leaving millions of seniors struggling to make ends meet. The Senior Citizens League puts it bluntly. The $1,400 payment proposal is one way to ease the loss in buying power since 2010, but more action is needed. This isn't just about giving seniors a little extra pocket money. It's about addressing a fundamental crisis in retirement security. But here's the harsh reality. There is currently no official legislation in Congress to enact this $1,400 payment. While the proposal has garnered attention and support from advocacy groups and some lawmakers, it remains just that, a proposal. The likelihood of passage in the near term appears slim, though continued advocacy keeps the pressure on and the issue in the public eye.
Speaking of inadequate adjustments, let's talk about your 2026 Social Security benefits and why the upcoming cost of living adjustment might leave you feeling more frustrated than relieved. received. The estimated COLA for 2026 is a measly 2.7%. While any increase is technically better than nothing, this figure highlights everything wrong with how Social Security adjustments are calculated. Think about what a 2.7% increase really means. If you're receiving the average Social Security benefit of about $1,900 per month, that's an increase of roughly $51. But here's the kicker. Much of that increase will likely be eaten up by rising Medicare Part B premiums, which often increase at the same time as COLA adjustments. So that $51 might turn into $20 or $30 of actual additional buying power if you're lucky. The frustration is real and justified. As one commentator recently asked, what is anyone going to do with a 2.7% increase when the real cost of living for seniors has been rising much faster than official inflation measures suggest? The root of this problem lies in how the cost of living adjustment is calculated. Social Security uses the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, that's CPIW, to determine annual benefit increases. But here's the fundamental flaw. This index doesn't accurately reflect how older Americans actually spend their money. Seniors typically spend a much larger portion of their income on healthcare, which has seen costs rise faster than almost any other category of goods and services. They also tend to spend differently on housing, transportation, and other necessities compared to the working age population that the CPIW is designed to track. The result? The official inflation measure consistently underestimates the real impact of rising costs on Social Security recipients. This is where reform proposals come into play, and there are some promising solutions on the table. Senator Bernie Sanders has been a vocal advocate for adopting the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, that's CPIE, as the standard for Social Security COLA calculations. This alternative measure gives greater weight to healthcare and other expenses that disproportionately affect seniors, which would result in higher and more accurate benefit adjustments. Sanders has introduced the Social Security Expansion Act, which includes provisions for both increased benefits and the adoption of CPIE. This isn't just theoretical, it's concrete legislation that could make a real difference in your monthly benefits. Representative Larson, the same congressman fighting for data security accountability, has also introduced the Social Security 2100 Act. This bill proposes across-the-board benefit increases and similar changes to the COLA calculation, demonstrating that there's growing bipartisan recognition that the current system isn't working. There are also more targeted bills focused solely on updating the inflation measure used for COLA calculations. The fact that multiple legislators are introducing similar reforms reflects a growing consensus that change is needed. But change doesn't happen automatically. The path forward requires sustained advocacy, public pressure, and political will. Advocacy groups like the Senior Citizens League play a crucial role in documenting the problems, proposing solutions, and keeping these issues in the spotlight. What can you do? Stay informed about these developments by following reputable news sources and advocacy organizations. Contact your representatives in Congress. Share your personal story and advocate for specific reforms like adopting CPIE or supporting emergency payments. Your voice matters, and lawmakers need to hear from constituents about how these issues affect real people. The 2026 COLA will be officially announced in October, and the coming months will be critical in shaping not just next year's benefits, but the long-term future of Social Security. While the challenges are significant, from data security concerns to inadequate benefit adjustments, there are concrete proposals and growing momentum for meaningful reform. Social Security remains a cornerstone of financial stability for millions of Americans, but it's clear that the current system isn't serving beneficiaries as well as it should. Whether it's protecting your personal data, providing adequate cost of living adjustments, or addressing the cumulative loss in purchasing power, change is needed, and advocacy is working. The fight for fair and secure Social Security benefits continues, and staying informed and engaged is your best tool for ensuring that the program continues to provide the support that you've earned and deserve. That's all for today's deep dive into the latest Social Security developments. If this information was valuable to you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Financial Area for more insights that protect and grow your money. What aspect of these Social Security issues concerns you most? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.